Today our topic is generics in Java. Generics means parameterized types. The idea is to allow a type like integer, string, etc. or user defined types to be a parameter to methods, classes and interfaces. Generics in Java allow us to create classes, interfaces and methods where the type of the data is specified as a parameter. If we use generics, we do not need to write multiple versions of the same code for different data types. Why use generics? Before generics, the Java developers used object to store any type of data. That object is the superclass of all other classes, and an object reference can refer to any object. These features lack type safety. For example, adding an integer to a list of string would not show an error until runtime. Generics add the type of safety feature. We will discuss the type of safety feature in later examples. And generics in Java are similar to templates in C++. For example, classes like hashset and arraylist, hash map, etc. use generics very well. Uh, there are some fundamental differences between the two approaches, two generic types. Types of Java generics. First one is generic method. A generic Java method takes a parameter and returns some value after performing a task. It is exactly like a normal function. However, a generic method has type parameters that are um, cited by an actual type. This allows the generic method to be used in a more general way. The compiler takes care of the type of safety, which enables programmers to code easily since they do not have perform long individual type castings. And the second one is generic classes. A generic class is implemented exactly like a non-generic class. The only difference is that contains a type parameter section. There can be more than one type of parameter separated by comma. The classes that accept one or more parameters are known as parameterized classes or parameterized types. The generic class. A generic class is a class that can operate on objects of different types using a type parameter like C++. We use to specify parameter types in generic classes. Creator. To create um, uh, objects of a generic class, we use the following syntax. The syntax is a generic class base type, that is type object is equal to new base type is type. Here this is the example code for generic classes. Here we have to see that first define class name, that is text, then main method public t get object, and then we get output. Then we have to see the topic is generic method. We can also write generic methods that can be called with different types of arguments based on types of arguments passed to the generic method. The compiler handles each method. This is the example code for generic methods. And then limitations of generics. Generic work only with reference types. When we declare an instance of a generic type, the type argument passed to the type parameter must be a reference type. We cannot use primitive data type like int char. And the second one is generic types differ based on their type arguments. During compilation, generic type information is erased, which is also known as type erasure. This is the information about generics in Java. Thank you.